Praise the Lord, everyone. Thank you for tuning in with Dr. Lesia the Preacha. Okay. In my case, as bad as it feels to be stolen from, when someone steal anything from you, steal your bicycle, steal your money, steal your food, steal something off your car, steal something off your house, you know, steal people from you. We tend to be more upset when people steal our things versus when people steal other people from us. I think that's weird. But in my case, when the other women began to just blatantly knock on my door, leaving notes, just basically just walking up in my house and ultimately just reaching over the fence through the window, plucking my husband right out the bed. When that started happening in my marriage around 2013, women could just bum rush my marriage, just come all up in it and do whatever they want. It doesn't feel good, but in our case, after that second husband went behind my back to try to adopt my daughters from the first husband, the two men telling me that the first husband would give up his. It happened. So when it didn't work, then that second husband and his family, especially his dad, which has passed on, they were very manipulative and pressured me to. My ex felt like he needed children that he could control, children that he felt like were his. Okay, all right, I can kind of understand that, but still, how can you do it above and beyond me as your wife? After that, he called my dark skin evil. He said my dark skin was evil. It's just a laundry list of stuff. But the biggest thing is when he touched my daughter. He touched my daughter. And then after he touched my daughter, he started messing around with her lover. So, like I said, by the time she and all these other women were so bold to come after him, I realized that this is an opportunity. He can be stolen, he can be taken, somebody else want him. I mean, like, to this extent that they're willing to just get him? Wow, okay, okay. So, I made it easy. I didn't fight back. I let the women get him. I was so broke down, suicidal, weak, foolish, silly, and dumb till all I had going for me was allowing these women to take him. Take him, please. Thank you. Oh my God. I realize this is a blessing. You know, here, the last woman that just simply, whatever, I don't know much about this woman, but all I can go by is what I heard. So, I noticed that I have some viewers. Please click like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you for listening. It looked like the live had cut off for a moment there, but it looks like we're back. I was a foolish, dumb woman for forgiving my husband for touching my daughter. Excuse for that, other than it happened to me. No one in my life from ages 5 until 11, those 6 years of my life, I was just open prey for three different uncles for 6 years. So when my second husband touched my daughter, I caught him. He touched her when she was a teenager. He smacked her on the butt or something stupid like that. That's what I caught. He smacked her on the butt. And it just took me back to my childhood where no one protected me, no one acknowledged, you know. And by this time, I'm so stuck in this marriage and dependent on him for everything. Obviously, it was allowed to happen to me, you know what I mean? So who was I going to go to in my family that was going to care? And by this time, we're so isolated. Who really deserved to die. And a few years later, I did have my first suicide attempt. I couldn't believe I forgave a man or was in a position where I couldn't do anything else but forgive this man because he was the hand that was feeding us. He was paying all the bills. I was a stay-at-home wife and mom. Just stupid. Just dumb as fuck. And to this day, I don't want any man to touch me. I don't want any man to touch me. I forgave a man who touched my daughter and continued to lay down with that man. And then she had to share her lover with him and me. You know what I mean? It was so disgusting. So thank you for stealing him and taking him away. I may get on here and talk about, you know, how fat, ugly looking, old this Brie baby is or whatever. That's just for content. That's just to make it sound juicier. But at the end of the day, I want to thank Brie baby. Thank you so much for taking the man that touched my daughter away. I mean, I will never meet you. He secretly ran off with you. You know, I mean, you live next door or something. I don't even know. But I know that I talked my shit on here about you. Made a little song about sugar baby, brie babies, and all other HomeWreck'n hoes. I made a little rap song about everything. But I am more thankful and appreciative to God for using you to relieve me and my children of all the evil stuff he did to us. Sometimes the other woman is God's way of delivering, the weak, foolish, stupid, dumb woman like me, you know, from the evil. All other women are not intended to break up a family. Some other women are used by God to come and deliver, rescue the family, drag that man off to hell somewhere or wherever he goes. I have no idea. God, he could repent and God can, save him or whatever. I don't know. None of my business. I don't care. I'm just glad that me and mine are free. We're free of him, guys. We haven't had to see him. Now, my one daughter is still suffering because he went behind my back and married her to an abusive man. So we're not done all the way. My daughter is still with this man. All I can do is pray that he no longer put his hands on her ever again. That's all I can do, guys. Because, I stayed with an abuser for 25 years until he left us, until other women just dragged him out of our life because I was so stupid. So now I gotta pray my daughter through her abuser, praying and hoping that he never bang her head on the floor again, pray and hope that he never break her ribs again, you know. But because I was such a weak, stay-at-home wife and mom who to this day can't figure out how to provide for her own damn self at 56, I gotta figure it out first time. But my daughter is following my footsteps because she's staying at home, depending on somebody, can't bite the hand that feed her and all that shit that I did. So, yeah, the second husband has been out of my life for 5 years, thank God. But the effects of them still linger in the family. And I gotta stay on my knees. I gotta fast and pray and keep my legs closed and don't ever be with no men again. That's my only hope to keep my daughter safe. You know, as long as she stay with her husband, I have to stay away from men. I have to stay away from men as long as my daughter is with this abuser because I taught her to be this way. I taught her to be this way. And again, I was raised to be a doormat. Three different uncles were allowed to touch me for 6 years, from ages 5 to 11. So, yeah, I was raised to be this way and taught it to my daughter. And I have to break this cycle because I have one granddaughter. One granddaughter. She's only a child right now, 3 years old, 3 to 4 years old right now. But if I don't keep opening my mouth, getting on YouTube, explaining my story, telling my story, no matter how dumb I look, no matter how stupid I sound, no matter, how pathetic I am of a woman, for living this way, for believing that men provide for women and children, that men can possibly love us and, you know, do right by us. I was so stupid. 32 years, I was dumb, forever believing that a marriage and husbands can do right and provide. You know, it didn't happen for my mom. It didn't happen for me. It's not happening for my. What chance do my granddaughter have? What chance does she have after coming behind 1, 2, 3 generations of abuse? You know, all of us women attempted to stay home and do what we thought was right. Let the man provide, let the woman, take care of the home. You know, for 3 generations in a row, that didn't work for us. And so now my granddaughter has to be raised knowing that her father beat her mother like that. So to me, the only hope is for me to never be with a man again. Never, ever, ever. Never have hope in such a thing. My love, my trust, my hope, my faith is in God and His Son, Jesus Christ, and that's it. I can't afford to do anything else. No man on my watch, no man on my watch has done right. No man. And people may say it's because you were trash. Okay, fine. Maybe I was trash. Yeah, I was raised to be a doormat. That is trash. I agree. When a child that was put through what I was put through, what else can you get out of that but trash? No matter how many college degrees I have, no matter, and I have about like 5, 6, 7 college degrees or something. It didn't remove the trashiness of how I was raised to be a doormat. It couldn't, no matter how many times I prayed and fasted in church, you know, whatever. It speaking in tongues, none of that. Remove the trashy way I was raised and passed it on to allow men to rape us and beat us and you know it no matter how much praying and education I got, it didn't stop it, guys. It didn't stop it. That's just how evil this world is. This world is so evil. It's almost like prayer and fasting and faith and belief can't stop men from abusing women. We women, no matter what we do, got to go through it. I mean, of course, there's women not like us. You know, there's plenty of women out there that were raised right and would never go through anything like this with men. I'm just not that woman, haven't seen any, and don't know what it's like. So, you can't miss what you don't have or never had. So, but women like me, I'm just sick of us now. I'm sick of us. We have too much faith, too much hope, and confidence in this world, in men, in marriage. Too much confidence, more than is needed, because we keep end up like we are. We keep ending up like this. So we're doing something wrong. So what I decide to do at this point is shut it all down on my end. I believe that's the only hope that my granddaughter has. That's the only hope she has, is that I stand up and say no more, no more men, no more marriage, no more abuse. The men in our life get away with murder, get away with rape. They get away with beating us. I mean, like, what have we done? Why do women have to be perfect? And even the women that are perfect, I mean, no one's perfect, but I've seen women who are pretty much close to perfect and still get treated this way. And of course, the men blame us. You know, they blame us, and fine, I'll take the blame. I was raised wrong. I was, raised in a situation where three uncles could touch me and nothing bad happened. 6 years of my life as a child. So yeah, I was raised wrong. So yeah, I'm okay. Blame me. It's my fault that my husband's cheated on me, abused me to no end because I was raised to be a doormat. Okay, I'll take the blame. No problem. But now I can repent from it and not have anything to do with him anymore. And I'm doing this for my granddaughter's sake because I couldn't save my daughter. I couldn't save my daughter. But I'm hoping that my abstinence, celibacy, and staying to myself will save my granddaughter. And putting these videos out, talking about what I went through, hopefully not being silent no more, will save my granddaughter. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I have to admit how dumb I was, that I didn't use my belief and faith in the right way. It's okay to believe God and have faith in God and all that, but don't put that in man. Don't put it in a marriage. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Now, is it okay to get married and be with men and stuff? Yeah, 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 yeah. But you have to be ready. You got to be ready. You can't come from a place of extreme deficit that I came from. I came from an extreme deficit. was raised to be a toilet to men, raised to be a doormat. I was raised to just let them wipe their feet on me and go on to the next woman. That's how I was raised. I couldn't control that, but later on in life as a grown woman, it came out. It came out where I just stayed and put up with it. Now, the first time, I had a little confidence and I divorced that first husband. I had a little confidence, but it didn't last long because the second one was right there and just whew, like a strong baseball bat, just swung as hard as he could and knocked us all out. And I didn't have a defense for it. My daughters and I just went down. All three of us just, he swung that bat and knocked us all the hell out in that marriage. And so 5 years later, we're still going through. He's gone, thank God. But the effects of it is still here. The effects of him. We're still living with it. Even though he's physically gone, thank God. So again, the other women can be a curse in your life. Yeah, if you were raised right and and you a strong, confident woman and wouldn't put up with no BS and all of that, and a man come along and, you know, take a swing at you in a negative way, you're going to know what to do. You're going to be strong. You're not going to put up with that. You're going to move on. Whatever you're going to do, whatever God tell you to do, you're going to do it and all that, right? But women like me, our only hope is when these other women come and just take these men away from us. That's our only hope. Strong, independent women who were raised right and got the confidence to, you know, recognize the red flags and keep it pushing. Those women are peaceful women. They should be full of joy and happiness. I take my hat off to them. I'm just not one. Don't know much about being one. So I can only speak on the pathetic, weak son of a bitches like me who just was raised to be doormats, and no matter how much religion, faith, belief, and education we get, it ain't gonna make no difference. Men are gonna dog us and keep on going. And the chances, and there's a good chance our daughters are gonna be the same way. But I'm taking a stance and hoping that tapping out from the madness and the toxicity, go ahead and take the blame. Be responsible and be accountable since the men get away with it. All the men in my life got away with it. So because they got away with it, I have to take accountability. I got to be responsible. Close my legs, be done with these men, and pray that my daughter don't get beat no more, and pray that my granddaughter never have to experience it. So women like me, the other woman is a blessing. The other woman saves us, and all I can do is hope that with her thieving ways, that she don't have to suffer. That's all I can do is pray that the sugar baby, brie babies, and all the other HomeWreck'n hoes don't have to suffer like we did. That's all I can hope. But I couldn't tell them what they stole. I couldn't open my mouth because it came at the risk of us being stuck. But once they stole them and my family and I are free of him, now I could speak. I could afford to speak. I had to wait until Bree Baby married him all the way. Once I found out that she was out there, it was 2.5 years after he left me. I didn't even know it was another woman on that level. I had no idea. It was 2.5 years after he cleared the coast that I even slowed down to even realize that there was somebody that stole him on that level. And I was like, oh, wow, thank you, Lord. Well, let me be quiet. The Lord had me to give her one little warning shot. And after that, my mouth was closed. And then when I realized that they actually got married and said I do, then I was able to come out with all these details. But I had to make sure that me and my daughters were all the way safe. And I know that sounds so sick and twisted. I know, guys. I know me even saying this sounds stupid, sick and twisted, and toxic and all that, as it should. I'm not denying it. But that's just how pathetic, weak, and foolish and silly I was, that a whole nother woman had to come and steal them clear and free in order for me to be free, in order for me to be able to be an independent woman. You know, it's almost like her destiny swapping, where she meant it to be evil. Ha ha ha, I stole your man because you ain't shit of a woman. Ooh, I had to use her evil to be a blessing and say, yes, thank you for stealing my husband because I ain't shit. Thank you. You know? Jesus Christ. Click like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to continue hearing my story as I continue to share other stories on my YouTube channel of similar situations, whether it's in celebrity world or in the real world or whatever. It's all real, actually. But, that's how I'm using my channel to explain my madness, what I went through. It's not just me. It's not just me. Like I said, I don't really know too many other women in my life that didn't live like me. You know, even one of my best friends, which is no longer a best friend, I had to cut her off along with everybody else. But even one of my best friends growing up, her own real father touched her. Her real blood father touched her. And she grew up to be a homewrecker. She specialized in messing with other people's husbands. That was her thing. So, again, sometimes these other women can be a curse, especially if you were raised right and, you know, doing right and strong and know better and all that. And if you come across a creep, you're going to shut it down faster than a woman like me who was raised to be a doormat, a trash can, you know, and released out into the world so that men can just piss on me. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you know, you're going to get different results. I had no idea that I would be so stupid. I had no idea. I didn't let the first husband get away with all that. I mean, did he do some cheating and stuff? Yeah, you know. But I didn't hang around. But that second marriage took me down. And he knew it. He had joy, it seemed like. You know, it's like it made him happy until he secretly ran off with the neighbor or whoever she was, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't ever want a man to touch me again. I really don't, you know. I'm so glad that I've given myself this time to let it all go. And after him, yeah, I still pursued a relationship after him, you know. And I thank God that it kind of happened because I was able to stand up for myself in that situation. So before I retired from all this, I did have a chance to stand up for myself and say, you know, I'm not going to go through this kind of crap again. I'm done. You know, I'm done. You know, I have every right to be done. How much suffering can one person put themselves through? You know, I don't want to put myself through any more suffering. And I realize that unless Most High, you know, completely deliver me from the trashiness that's in my soul, from being abused majority of my life, unless God remove all that trash out of my spirit, and then it don't make sense to be in no relationships. You know, that's a thorn in my side. That thorn in my side that I must live with. That my upbringing and experience sets me up to just, you know, just be walked all over and treated like crap. So that's my thorn. And I, I want to be solo from here on out. I don't trust touches anymore. Anytime a man can touch me, touch my daughter, and then touch her lover, it's just disgusting. It make you want to like rip your skin off. I tried to kill myself in 2011 over this shit. You know, I couldn't believe that I was in a situation like this. This man touching my daughter and touching me, and just so we can eat and have a roof over our head. And I had nowhere to go. Nobody in my family was gonna take us in. No, not after the way I was raised. Why would I even want them to? But you all keep me in prayer. Support my channel if you have the stomach for it. This is not easy stuff to talk about, let alone listen to. And I know that when my alimony run out in a year, there's a chance that I may not ever be a provider. I may not learn how to take care of myself financially. And I'll probably lose everything and die. And I'm okay with it, guys. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm okay with it. I don't know any better. I don't know life any other way. I'd rather die that way than to be laying with a man who's touching all the women in my life, including my kids. I'd rather die than to be with a man that's doing that. So if you continue to support my channel, then a year from now, you'll know if I'm going to live or die. It's all in God's hands at this point because I'm crazy as hell. I'm too fucked up. Either God's going to let me live or let me die because of my faith, my belief, my trust in Him. It's that deep. But I'll be damned if I let another man touch me and touch my kids and steal their lovers and go on and get married to a whole fresh woman. But, you know, that's how these homewreckers are. They don't care what they steal. They just want their turn. They so determined. They will deny this new woman probably don't believe anything I'm saying. And that's fine. I don't care. I'm just glad he's off my plate and on hers since she was so determined to get him. All I can say is thank you. And people like, no, you just jealous and hating on her. He touched my daughter. What is there to be jealous and hate about? He stole my daughter's lover. What is there to be jealous and hate about? He said my dark skin was evil. He forced me to adopt children when I wasn't ready. He went behind my back to try to adopt my daughters from their daddy. Like, what is there to be jealous and hating on this ugly white woman for? What is there to be jealous and hating on a sugar baby who was my daughter's lover? The sugar baby wouldn't even know the ex-husband had it not been for my daughter. What is there to be jealous and hating about? For those who says you just hating, you just jealous of white women and you just mad that you a black woman who ain't good enough, you know, for a black man. I don't care about being good enough for no black man. Are you kidding? Black men are the ones that did all this shit to me and my kids. It's black men that did all this to me and my kids. And before that, it was white men. Yeah. Before that was white men. My big mama, my great grandmother, she was owned by her white father, the plantation owner. My mom's mom, my great grandmother, Big Mama, that's what we called her. Her dad was the white plantation owner. And she grew up on his plantation. And so did my grandma, my actual grandma that helped raise me, fed me greens and cornbread on the front porch. That was her grandfather. And she grew up on that same plantation too. This shit isn't that old, y'all. So yeah, before black men wiped their feet all over us, yeah, my white great great grandfather was a plantation owner who obviously wiped his feet on us too. So I don't know life any other way. I don't have the option to just go run off happily with a white man. I know that ain't the answer. Black men or white men in America ain't the answer in my life. In my life. Maybe in other women's lives. Black men are wonderful. And white men are perfect and wonderful and all that. And a blessing and all that. Good for y'all. But in my life, I don't have good history with men. I mean, my own bloodline men, let alone the men in the street that can't wait to beat us up and steal from us. I'm just saying. But thanks for listening. I take complete blame for all the bad that's happened to me in my marriages. I take blame for it. I take accountability. And I'm repenting by never marrying again, keeping my legs closed and not letting a man touch me. If a man don't touch me, then he don't have the power to touch my kids or violate my family in any other way if I don't play. So either I'm going to figure out how to be independent and provide for myself for the first time or just die. And I'm okay. Either way. It's my choice at this point. Again, click like, subscribe, keep up with your girl, hit that notification bell. And thank you for listening.